All right. So we're gonna finding the closest estimate. Now sometimes, like you've seen on the math homework, it doesn't tell you what to round to, does it? No. So you have to choose between tens, rounding to the tens, or rounding to the hundreds. Which do you think would give you the closer estimate, rounding to the tens or rounding to the hundreds? Raise your hand if you think it's rounding to the tens. Raise your hand if you think it's rounding to the 100s. Okay? Some people undecided on this? Well, let's find out. You ready? First thing we're going to do here is find the actual sum. So we're going to add this. Sum means to add, right?
Yep.
So let's add this. 7 plus 4 equals
11.
Carry the 1, right?
Yep.
8 plus 4 is
12.
is 12, and 1 more will make it.
13.
Carry the 1 again. 4 plus 3 is
7.
and 1 more makes 8. So the actual answer here is 831. So now we're going to round it to the nearest 10. And then we'll do it again, rounding to the 100, and see which answer comes closer to the actual answer.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay? So rounding to the nearest 10. 344, Troy, rounded to the nearest 10 will be 340. Okay? Caleb with a C. 487 rounded to the nearest 10 comes out to
400.
the nearest 10.
Oh. 80.
7 is 5 or more. I raised the score. So the 8 should become a 9. So there'd be 490. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said 400. Yeah. Okay. Now adding these up, 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus 9 makes 13. Carry the 1. 4 plus 3 is 7, and 1 more is 8.
Oh, that's close.
That's really close. Okay. Let's look at this one now. Rounding to the hundredths place. Jacob, what's 344 rounded to the hundredths place?
You have to let it rest because it's lower.
So that comes out to
300.
300. Okay. 487 rounded to the hundredths place. Melody?
It's going to be 5 because the 8 is
500. So 300 plus 500 is
800.
800.
10 sort of closer.
So 10s were closer. Yes?
Yes.
Now, let's think about this. If you are rounding to the nearest 10, right? How much could you be off when you round? Yeah. Well, there's a maximum amount you could be off, right? Let's take 341, right? If you round that to the 10, how many you get 340, right?
Yes.
How much could you be off? By 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you round, if it was 342, you'd be off by 2, right? If it was 343, you'd be off by 3, right? And then 344, you'd be off by 4 points, yeah? Okay. 345 would round up to
50.
would round up 350, so you'd be off by 5, right? And then 346 would only be off by because you round up, you'd round up to 350, it would only be 4 points off, right?
No, but
And so as we get higher, 347, that would round to 350, but that would only be 3 points. We're getting smaller, right? So what's the most points you could be off by? 5.
But in the hundreds, it's 50.
Yeah. If you were rounding to the hundreds place, you could be off by 50 points, right?
Yep.
So what would be closer, rounding to the hundreds or rounding to the tens? Rounding to the tens, because at most, when you round a number to the tens place, you're only going to be off by max 5 points, right? But if you round to the hundreds place, right, you could start at if you were at 350, that would round up to 400. That's 50 points off, right?
Yeah.
So rounding to the tens is always going to give you a closer answer. Yes, Trip.
And if you want to round and compare them with the hundreds and the tens place will always win because, or sometimes, or most of the time it's going to win because that is where the other numbers come in, and except zeros. I mean, like on the hundreds, all there is zeros, and it gets like just 800 or 700.
Yeah. Okay. Which estimate was closest to the actual one? Answer.
Oh.
The one.
10.
Okay, so the
831.
tens one was closer, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Do it again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So actual 5 plus 5 is
10.
carry the 1. 5 plus 7 is 12, and one more makes
13.
carry the 1. 4 and 2 is 6, and one more is 7. So the actual answer is 730. Okay. Now, rounding to the nearest 10. Andrew, what's 475 rounded to the nearest 10?
480.
480, right? Okay. And Zoe, what's 255 rounded to the nearest 10?
230. Wait. Oh. I mean 260.
260, okay. Now adding that, 0 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 6 is
14. 15.
carry the 1. 4 and 2 is
6.
and one more is 7.
740.
So we're off 10 points there, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Gracie, what's 475 rounded to the nearest 100?
500.
500, okay. And Caleb with a K, what's 255 rounded to the nearest 100?
300.
300. So 500 and 300 is
800.
800. Now that's 70 points off, right?
Yes.
So which one was closest?
Tens.
The 10s.
What will you do
Yeah. But this question down here, which will give you a closer estimate if you round to the nearest 100 or to the nearest 1,000?
Oh, that's like a
Pagan?
100 because it's small.
Ah, the hundreds because it's smaller. Great answer. Just like when we rounded to the 10, you know, when you round to the hundreds, you could be off by as much as 50, right? But if you round to the thousands, how much could you be off?
Like 1,000.
No,
Oh, 150.
no,
100. 100.
500. 500. Half of it, right? Like 100, half is 50, right? 10, half was 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay. 1,000, you could be off as much as 500.
It's in nice though.
So hundreds because, what'd you say?
It's smaller. It's smaller.
It apostrophe S because this is it is, right? It is, that's a contraction. It has an apostrophe because it's actually two words. It is.
Yeah. Michael?
Yes. So you can, unless you have any questions, you can do the IXLs, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they're the same IXLs from yesterday, right? So A21. Hold on, I'll help you out in a second. Okay. A21. B, what is it? B10 and C8. Yes, all of them. Okay. Like I said, you had today and yesterday to do 3 IXLs. Okay.
A